What is up, YouTube? This is Shaw Boys 2324, aka Henry Scarborough Jr., and this is another DVD review. This is a DVD review on one of the most controversial rivalries in WWE history and wrestling history. WWE greatest rivalry, Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart. 3-disc set. Now let's take a look at the back without further ado. All right, it says a hard-fought road to respect. Individually, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels and Bret the Hitman Hart are two of the greatest WWE superstars in history. Together, they launched an intense rivalry that spilled out of the ring and became incredibly personal, building to the infamous Montreal incident, the Montreal Screwjob. Now, for the first time ever, these Hall of Famers sit down together and in a gripping, emotional interview that was at times tense and uncomfortable, but also refreshingly candid. The two reflect on their intertwined careers, covering their early days, breaking into WWE, shattering stereotypes, their evolving relationships with each other and Mr. McMahon, feelings about the other top stars, the pressures, the backstabbing, the rumors, the aftermath of Montreal, their emotional reconciliation. This collection is also packed with career-spanning Rocker versus Hart Foundation and Shawn versus Bret matches, as well as both of their inductions into the WWE Hall of Fame. You have Shawn Michaels and Bret, Shawn Michaels and Bret in a ladder match, Shawn Michaels and Bret again. And you got Shawn Michaels and Bret at WrestleMania 12 in main event in an Iron Man match. Right, let's open it up. All right, so here we go in images right here. Trying to get close up right there. You guys can plainly see. Now, guys, you guys can pause the video at any point of this section right here. You know, if you want to like read all the paragraphs, a lot of paragraphs to read, and I am just giving you a close up right here. All right, let's open it up. Behind disc one, you have Shawn Michaels with the Canadian flag. Behind disc two, you have Shawn Michaels super kicking Bret Hart. And disc three, yeah, Bret Hart putting Shawn Michaels in the sharpshooter. All right, we got that out the way. All right, let's get one of the best parts of this DVD. One of the main reasons why you should get this DVD is the interview itself. Disc 1, San Antonio versus Calgary. Shawn Michaels live in San Antonio, born and raised. Bret Hart live in Calgary, Canada. This was interview with Jim Ross, by the way, in case y'all don't know. The Rockers versus the Hart Foundation. Bret and Shawn talk about like their relationship during the time of the tag team match, like talking about their innovative like tag team matches and stuff. I talk about the Rockers and the Hart Foundation in multiple DVDs that I have. Like they have always had great matches with each other. The Heartbreak Kid versus the Hitman. This is where in I believe 1990, it started in 1992. This is where they begin their singles careers. Talks about like early days, how like Bret Hart was basically like a teacher, and Shawn Michaels was like one of the best students of the game, and like it was Shawn Michaels at the time. He had no record of being a single star. He was always a tag team. He was doing the tag team thing, and this is where he broke out. Intercontinental Champion versus WWE Champion. During the time Shawn Michaels at the time was the Intercontinental Champion, and Bret Hart was the WWE Champion at the time, and they both of them were talks about like Shawn like if it wasn't for Bret, Shawn wouldn't be the wrestler he was today, and also like Bret broke barriers for like guys his size like can shine and thrive other than like the big guys like Hulk Hogan at the time, Andre the Giant, Macho Man, etc. Showstopper versus the excellence of execution. This was when Shawn was on the top of his game, and Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart were like literally on the same level. Like this was at the point where like Shawn literally surpassed Bret in every way. Progressive versus traditional. Bret Hart was a traditionalist, whereas Shawn Michaels was a progressive. He was like progressively involved, like evolving his character, and basically, like Shawn, like the company WWE were moving towards away from traditional, and like that's one of the reasons why Bret left for WCW, even though he didn't want to, but like the WWE at the time were moving into the Attitude Era, and Shawn Michaels was at the forefront. Like DX was in the front for it, and was in the forefront of that. And Bret, while he was in the beginning, he was in the company when like 97, like, but like this was at the time where Shawn is the top guy. Bret was, Bret felt like he done all he could. He felt like he was being betrayed by the company because at the time, like, also, Bret was the top guy, and like how people with like egos. Both of these guys have major egos. It's not even funny. Like their egos are very huge. Like they need their own zip codes. And yes, I said codes because both of them have major egos. I like them both, but I'm just saying like fantasy versus reality. They talk about how like in the beginning of the rivalry, they were just playing it up like it was real, but fantasy turned into reality. Like, as crazy as it was, it turned from kayfabe hatred for each other to real life hatred for each other. Respect versus trust. Shawn always wanted respect. He felt like he didn't have respect from Bret, and like Bret thought that he could like trust Shawn, and he couldn't. Plain as day, and it's like respect versus like respect. Like Shawn felt like he had like a huge chip on his shoulder. Like, he felt that he never got the respect that he deserved. You know, and then like redemption versus reconciliation. Shawn Michaels after the screw job, like it was really crazy during that time. Like, the reason why I say that because like for the redemption part, it was mostly I think it's for Bret reconciliation. It was both. Well, it's for like basically both. You know, both sides like needed to like come together because Shawn didn't want to do this the whole like screw job and everything. Like he didn't want to do it, but he had to. He was a team player, but if he could go back in time, he would not have done it. He would probably have done it a different way. Like it would done it. Bret was leaving, regardless of what would have happened. Bret was leaving, but I felt like Bret, Bret and Shawn both suffered. Like it's funny how the WWE grew off of that, off the Montreal Screwjob, but the real people that were hurt by it was Bret and Shawn. Those are the two who were like the casualties of it. It was mostly Bret and Shawn because Shawn didn't want to do it. Bret, wanted to, you know, do business, but like do business in the way that he wanted to do business. But they Vince McMahon screwed him, obviously. The famous Bret screwed Bret promo from, the following Monday Night Raw. That hope and peace. On Raw, they Raw 20. I'm gonna get to it in a second. Of like, I watched this live and it was crazy. Like we haven't seen Bret on television, on WWE television in a long time. Shawn at the time was gonna like, still wrestling. Shawn, they reconciled. Now they're just best friends now. Like they're friends when they're in the business, but then it's stopped. They real life and both Bret and Shawn forgave each other for all the stuff he's done. All stuff that happened. This one obviously is the best disc, and it's one of the only reasons why to get this DVD. Other than the matches you already seen, inductions, ceremonies, you could probably find them on the WWE Network or YouTube. And the moments that they had. It's just overall it's a great DVD. I'm not gonna lie, like it's a very good DVD. But like the main reason, one of the reasons why I wanted this DVD was because of disc one. So this one is really really good. The Rockers versus the Hart Foundation, Madison Square Garden, November 25th, 1989. This was a good match, ended in no contest. Bret versus Shawn Michaels, Wrestling Challenge, February 10th, 1990. It was a good, decent match. Even though this was like one of Shawn and Bret's earlier matches, this was just a house show. I think this ended in a draw as well. The Tokyo Dome, the Rockers versus the Hart Foundation, March 30th, 1991. Good match. The Rockers got the upper hand on the Hart Foundation. The ladder match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, Portland. ME. July 21st, 1992. It's a good match. Good ladder match too. Like really really underrated ladder match. And Bret, like I said, Bret and Shawn always had great chemistry with each other in the ring, and their matches evolved over time. And Intercontinental Championship match, Bret versus Shawn Michaels, Syracuse, New York, April 29th, 1992. Really really good match. Really good match. Every match that they had, it was better and better. Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, Survivor Series, November 25th, 1992, WWE Championship match. Again, like really really good match. Like this two had like really good this two has good matches. This three literally only has one match, and it's the Iron Man match. I already talked about the Iron Man match. Like it's good too. Like one of the best one of the best Iron Man matches. You know, The Rock and Triple H had a better Iron Man match per se, but in terms of like the whole match, and I talk about this match a lot. This match, like the Iron Man match, as we'll get to, had no falls in 60 minutes. No falls. And it was sudden death. You know, that the story that they told and then the way they laid out the match, even Shawn Michaels and Bret was like saying, man, like they laid out the match the whole hour. It's insane. Like the chemistry, the storytelling that match, like that's a masterpiece right there. Steel cage match: Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, Utica, New York, December 1st, 1993. You know, it was a good match. You know, and there's nothing bad about, except for like the earlier matches. Like I said, like their matches evolved more and more, so you can see that as the more matches that they had, it evolved. Their storytelling evolved. The psychology in the ring evolved. So, like, and it weren't really bad matches. You know. All right, this three. I already talked about the Iron Man match from WrestleMania 12, March 31st, 1996. I was born 30. I was born 30 days earlier. Good times. WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Bret Hart's induction, Chicago, Illinois, April 1st, 2006. Honestly, even with Bret's and like Shawn's induction ceremonies, I'm not gonna lie, like they're not really. I don't really remember what exactly or pinpoint what they like say. You know, like Bret, it was like one of his first appearances in a long time, like in 2006, and then like Bret officially returned to Monday Night Raw, where he reconciled and like shook hands with and put the past behind, put the Montreal Screwjob behind them with Shawn Michaels. You know, like that was really like good, cool segment. And the funny thing is, at the time, TNA was total stop non-stop action. If y'all remember, if you're a wrestling fan, you remember that Monday night, they were doing the Monday Night Wars, and like this segment beat pretty much every segment that they had. Like it was like one to the point where it's like, man, because like Bret Hart, haven't seen Bret Hart in a while, you know, in years. So, you know, Shawn Michaels induction ceremony, you know, good, decent. I think though one of the things I can remember was that, you know, if he, I think he like talked about whether it's like him being liked or like him being like great, you know, like he can like share. He was able to, same with Bret. Like he was always he loved to share and pass his knowledge down to down the generations, tell stories in the ring. Same with Bret Hart, like, you know. But overall, this is probably like, this is a good DVD. I definitely would recommend this DVD, especially if you are a Shawn Michaels and Bret fan. I know you got your Shawn Michaels fans. If you hate Shawn Michaels, you love Bret. If you hate Bret, you love Shawn Michaels. But man, listen, man. These two put on a show for us in our entertainment, and I like them. Yeah, I like them both. Learning about like this more about the screw job, what was going on during that time, how were they like their chemistry, like the way like they went so much in detail. And it's, you know, what's funny is that I guess the only disappointing part about this DVD is they don't have the actual screw job match, but technically don't really need it because they go in depth with it on disc 1. So, you know what I'm saying? So I guess technically they didn't really need it, but if it was there on disc 3, you know, that would been great too. But anyways, you know, guys, that's it from me. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.